All right, Big Boss here, guys. Bear with me on this weird video. I'm still using my broken phone, and I can barely even tell if I'm even videotaping anything. This is a 2017 F-150 wheel bearing replacement. They obviously wrecked this thing a little bit. It's one of the company trucks. It travels a lot. There's already well over 200,000 miles on this truck, and I have a couple other things we're going to take care of. There's a coolant leak, a mystery coolant leak. Can't find it. I think they have somehow managed to put 134A in the refrigerant in the AC system, and this takes that new 1234 YZF or whatever the heck it is, and they have different boiling points. That's a different video. But what I'm going to do now is we're going to remove this wheel. We're going to replace this wheel bearing. It's humming, making noise, and it's a little bit loose. So what I'm going to do now is I've already removed the lug nuts, which is what you're going to have to do. And then I'm going to have to dislodge this wheel because it's pretty tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kick the hell out of it since I've got it up on a jack. I'm doing this video in the style of as if you're doing this at home. Next thing, we're going to remove, I use tire sit on, we're going to remove the caliper. I'm going to remove the entire bracket, pad, everything. In all reality, this thing will go together or back together a lot better if you remove the caliper separate from the caliper bracket, because when you go to slide it back on your rotor, it's going to just fit a lot better. I can do it both ways. I would suggest if you're new to this, you do it by removing the caliper in two pieces. It's just going to be a lot easier. And what you'll do is just slightly press your pistons in, whether with a big pair of channel locks, a piston press if you have one, slightly press them back in, and then that will allow the pads to slide over your rotor so much easier. And the rotor let me try that all again. It will allow your caliper to slide over your pads a lot better when they're seated on the rotor. There we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remove this whole bracket, and then we're going to remove the rotor itself. So just to give a heads up, I have a pretty big Milwaukee one, not the biggest. I have a big Snap-on one. I also have some cheaper ones. None of which, other than my Air ones, have ever managed to get these aluminum bolts out with the Loctite on them. But, little secret, I already did the other side of this truck, and I had to use a breaker bar to break everything loose. Once I broke everything loose, I was able to take everything out by hand. Now, this guy's going to be a little seized on too. You can hit around here and sometimes get lucky. Or not. Or you can hit on the backside and get it off. The deal is though, don't hit in your pad sweep, this area right here. Try to hit on this part of it on the inside. There's just enough room to do so. You don't want to mar it, you don't want to mangle it. Wow, that one was extremely stuck. Four bolts in the back, 18 mils. Okay, so let's see, where did I leave off? There's going to be a bolt, the line wire. Let me start all the way over. There's going to be a wire coming out of the top of this. This wire is going to travel up behind here. It's easy just to pop it around, but it is bolted to the spindle. 8mm bolt, so let's take that bolt out. And then it looks like I've got 1, 2 fasteners. Should have already unplugged it under the hood. And then it looks like we've got 2 fasteners that need to be popped out. If you break these, it does not matter because the new hub should come with, let me get in here, should come with the stuff you need. Yep, that's not what I wanted to do. It's okay to cut it since you're replacing it, unless for whatever reason the part still goes in there. Just make sure you don't cut it to where the piece that you're needing come off. There we go. Okay. Now I usually cut mine short here just because it's a lot less crap hanging out in the way while I'm trying to do this. Maybe I can get my fingers to function properly today. There we go. I might just pull that around. Don't matter if you do or not. Now it looks to me right here, if you pull your new hub out of the box and look at it, you're going to see how it would look separated from the vehicle. And I can tell that mine is already starting to separate from the vehicle, which is a good sign. You're not always going to get that lucky, guys, and it sucks. Let's just see how lucky I'm going to get today. Yeah, I got real lucky. Hardly ever does it just pop out like that. And you usually will have to beat on it. There's even certain tools, like if you're doing this on like an old school Jeep, Cherokee or something, a lot of times they'll even have like a tool where you can use the bolt to help pop it out. There's sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, and usually your hammer becomes your best friend. The next thing we want to do is inspect everything in here. Everything looks to be greasy. A little bit. No damage. There's a gear in here. So this is your ABS right here. This is actually, it's like a reluctor ring. Matches in with this one, turns. There's a counter in there. It counts how many rotations. It tells your wheel how fast it's spinning. It knows when it correlates with the other wheels, if you're sliding, skidding, or if you're just rolling down the road. I do a quick inspection of my new part, verify it looks and will operate properly, seals good. Okay. Just a little, like that. I can start all 4 bolts. The reason being is if you tighten one down, you might not get one lined up all the way properly. And if you force it and cross thread it, you may not like it or hate it because you may never deal with it again, but somebody's gonna hate it. Okay. At this point, since I'm going to stand up, I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Get this guy. Back there like he wants to be. Which I apparently still have a rock back there. There we go. And run him the proper way behind the brake line. Like so. Get my 8-yoke bolt. Go ahead and bolt him up. Now you don't have to do it in the exact order I'm doing it here. I try to be efficient with my time. If I'm down here, I try to get as much done as I can while I'm down here. Okay. That in. We're gonna go for a quick drive, test drive. So first thing you always do anytime you do this, anytime you have the brakes off of your car, period, pump your brakes up. Make sure you get that caliper reseated, brake pad reseated. Let's go. All right, so we're gonna get some speed and then we're gonna load each side. So first thing we're gonna listen for is, got some brake shit. We're gonna listen for the vibe, the humming noise of the bad bearing, which I can tell you right now is already gone. And verification of no noise is approved 100%. No